Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Matt Salem, and you've tuned in to another episode of Our Best Behavior, brought to you by Behaviorally. We are the global digital first leader in providing data intelligence through our AI and tech enabled product stack to help brands own the most valuable moment in marketing, the purchase transaction. We are Behaviorally, the transaction experts. Each episode, we share insights on trending topics within our industry and of interest to our customers. Today, we're joined by Reddy Mallidi, Partner and Chief Operating Officer at Seventrain Ventures, to discuss how AI is reshaping industries, organizations, and individual lives, unlocking a world of possibilities beyond imagination. From automating tasks to unleashing innovative solutions, AI brings unparalleled efficiency and ingenuity as it empowers smarter decisions, fuels growth, and fosters a culture of progress. Reddy, welcome. Very happy to have you here today. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here, Matt.
So, Seventrain Ventures. I That name really rung a bell with me when I heard it. I want to hear how that came to be. I got a little bit of a sneak preview, and our audience needs to hear really. So, tell me a bit about Seventrain Ventures. First, how the name came to be, and then from there, what exactly Seventrain Ventures does to help its clients.
Great question. And there is a history behind Seven Train. I didn't know, although I lived in New Jersey, worked in the city, New York City, and went to school in Columbia. But I found out that Seven Train was associated with the immigrants, bringing immigrants across the New York City. And so the founder named it, who was the son of immigrants. So he named his company as Seven Train Ventures. And the focus of Seven Train Ventures is slightly different from a traditional VCs in the sense that we nurture relationships with the founders and the CEOs of small startup companies. And once we build that relationship and believe in that company, then when the company is ready to move to the next stage, we activate our network and raise the funds to help. But we are more of a nurturing VC versus you give the money and let the company startups go and do whatever they would like to spend that on marketing, etc. So we are more of a nurturing venture capital company.
Very cool. Very cool. Not just merely injecting with funds, but also providing some guidance along the way. It sounds like.
Exactly right, Matt.
Cool, cool. And when you told me about Seven Train Ventures at first, my mind immediately, as a Mets fan, went to the Seven line. And for those Mets fans listening, not the same. Seven Train Ventures and the Seven line, two separate things. I'm sure our Mets fans realize that, but that struck me in more ways than one. But I do love the story behind Seven Train Ventures and how the name came to fruition. And with that, I'd like to talk a little bit more about your own personal experiences, your AI expertise, which I know you'll be lending to the conversation. And in part, maybe foreshadow a bit. We'll have opportunity throughout today, but your upcoming book, AI Unleashed, that you have. So give us a little preview of maybe some of your past projects and what's to come.
So, a little bit of my background, Matt. I have over 25 years of experience in the tech industry as an executive. I'm on three AI company boards as an advisor. My journey in the AI space, it started 30 plus years ago as a graduate student in computer science. When I took neural networks class, my friend Ben Carter and myself, we wrote a game using neural networks and Lisp programming, believe it or not, to actually understand the behavior, since you guys are from behaviorally, it's the behavior of smokers for a psychology lab. This was in the early 90s. And then later, after my MBA, I joined Intel, where I was Pentium 3 product manager and helped advance Moore's Law at Intel. As you and we all know, that today the compute power is one of the underpinnings that enabled AI as we know it now. And I have been building AI applications for the last 6 years. My teams have been part of various applications, and we have clients as part of the Seventrain Ventures, where we build AI automations and saving millions of dollars. I can give more examples later on some of the areas where we have applied AI very, very efficiently in the sense of bringing growth and EBITDA improvements for the companies.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more on that, and certainly we will. I think when we had our introductory call prior to today, and we started to talk about AI and an ability of AI to really customize aspects of our business, and I should say perhaps we have the ability to customize AI in a way that supports aspects of our business as desired. And when we think about the transformation of more traditional business operations to one that incorporates AI, what are you seeing? What are some of the customizations and most frequent ways that AI is being leveraged, just broadly speaking? And then perhaps if there's anything in particular in the insights realm that you would footnote.
Let me give more on the sales and marketing side because
Sure.
behaviorally and your clients, many of them are in that space. AI is, we talked about this one, Matt, before. It is the biggest positive force multiplier we have ever seen in our lives. It's, if not bigger than the Industrial Revolution when it happened a few hundred years ago, but this is the biggest one in our lifetime. I'll give you from revenue intelligence perspective. Today, the AI algorithms can sift through and identify patterns and trends. It helps the sales team to have targeted sales strategies. Sales calls, you can get real time insights. You don't need to wait for a week and to look at the summaries and the surveys to come through. You can even get real time nudges from AI enabled technology solutions. You can get real time coaching when you're having a conversation with a prospective client. And once you have clients, there are customer success functions, which is in parallel to the sales, and sometimes it is part of the sales. And when I was at my previous company, we used to help the customer CSMs, the customer success managers, providing that intelligence, providing that customer health scoring, but it's very manual. You need to look at the historical data and analyze it. But now with AI, you can get that real time. You can know not 3 months after when a customer sentiment is going lower and the probability of the customer renewing their subscription has gone down. That's too late.
Hmm.
So what AI is enabling you is to get that insights very quickly when you have an opportunity to course correct and get that renewal. So it's very, very effective in that sense. AI is able to do. And in the marketing perspective, machine learning algorithms can analyze. Again, you guys are in the behaviorally, so I'm bringing that again. They can analyze the customer behavior, the customer preferences, and triangulate with the social media activity, and then come up with the right recommendations, be it product side, the content side, and it can personalize the recommendations. The challenge today, if without the AI, Matt, is when you need to do personalization at scale, that's very, very tedious. And
Hmm.
scaling would require a lot of resources. But the beauty of this is you can personalize to every customer and you can scale. And in in olden days we used to say, oh, when you have to customize, then your costs are going to go dramatically up. So the finance people and operations people don't like the customization, they like standardization. But you can do both personalization, you can scale it, and you can keep your costs, operational costs, down. That's the beauty of AI. I can go on and on with
Sure.
how many ways AI can help us.
Sure. No, and I love all of those points because I think if I translate that to some of the methodologies that we employ here and the products that we serve to our clients to deliver insights, we are leveraging an AI in a way that capitalizes on the intersection of productization and customization. And we are able to deliver to our clients top notch insights by incorporating the efficiencies of standardization and then layering in AI in order to get those custom aspects hit too, so that when we deliver insights, it's very pertinent and specific to the client needs. And I love those examples that you gave. One thing that comes to mind is we think about leveraging AI to help deliver operational efficiency, to help give essentially performance feedback for a customer success team, to provide insights to clients at a scalable rate, at a much faster rate without sacrificing any quality and if anything improving quality. And it starts to make people wonder, well, how long do humans need to be in the mix, right? I mean, this is a common topic that comes up in AI conversation. If AI can tell me what I should be doing different as I'm trying to approach clients about the products I offer, is AI just going to start doing it for me? What happens then? Do I just take a back seat or am I out of there? So, I mean, tell me a bit about what you're thinking and the kind of concerns that you hear from folks in regard to human skills being replaced versus human skills being complemented by AI.
Both of those aspects I hear. I'll tell you, a year ago, one of my good friends who works for a big name search firm, she called me and was asking, Reddy, is my job gone now with AI? AI apparently can do end to end every aspect of the hiring. I I told her, Michelle, it's now you're spending a few days to create that job description. Now with AI, you would be able to do it in half a day. Of course, you need to sit with the hiring manager, but you are not spending lots and lots of time like before. You become more efficient. You are good, you're going to become great. If you're mediocre, again, not in this case, Michelle is a great recruiter and person. And if you are a mediocre in doing a task, it's going to make you way better. You're going to become good. So when it comes to the apprehensions, there are people are like, oh, it's going to take my job away. Because there is hype going on too. I hear, oh well, you don't even need doctors. Come on, it's AI is going to replace all the doctors now. That's not going to be the case. what is what it is going to do is anything we are doing, it's going to make us do better and faster.
Mm,
That's one. The second aspect is AI. It's just like any technology. There are some roles will be affected because you anything that's predictable physical activity, you can write the rules, you can make that, hey, all this is very predictable, it's not super customized. Then AI has a good chance of significantly impacting, meaning if you have a customer service representatives with a few hundred, you probably don't need all those. So it is going to change some functions and some roles more than others. But on the other hand, when I look at it, it's the human aspects, the soft skills, the empathy aspect, understanding your customer, relating to the customer. Again, I'm emphasizing more on the customer side and
Sure.
marketing and sales side. Those aspects are super critical, and decisions that impact people have to be people in the loop. Suppose I'll give you an example.
Sure.
Suppose you apply for a mortgage loan and the AI application comes back. You don't have any transparency to understand how it derived at that decision. You want to make sure a person looks at it. Does it make sense? There are a lot of counter examples where AI erred, and you don't want that to be the automatic decision. Or a healthcare decision, same thing.
Mm,
These are
mm,
anything that impacts people. You want to make sure that human is in the loop. Human is looking at the data, the decision making, the insights coming from the AI systems. And don't say that just like that lawyer case we heard. The lawyer filed a report with a judge and he used Chat GPT and it came back with all fake
right.
cases and he was reprimanded. So be careful.
Yep. Yep. No, I mean the reality is AI is not always though very convincingly sounding answers. AI is not always giving you the right answers per se, and sometimes those answers can in fact be made up. So there has to be a human element. I wholeheartedly agree, and I'm wondering maybe perhaps a good time to segue into AI Unleashed, right? If you want to tell us a bit more about AI Unleashed, because I know there is a variety, if you will, of information shared in the publication, and there's professional experiences, academic knowledge, research that's been conducted. What are some of the additional hot topics that one can expect if they were to pick up AI Unleashed to learn about and read about?
I wrote this book to give all the tools to business and technology leaders to get their businesses AI ready, Matt. What I have done in this book is I discuss the basics of AI technologies. Not you don't necessarily have to be a technology person to understand this, but you need to know enough to see when you're sitting in a meeting when people are throwing things at you, so you want to have an intelligent conversation. So I give the basics of the AI technologies. But the emphasis of the book is how to integrate AI from data, talent, security, governance perspectives. How do you get those things right? I dedicate a section on that. I also show the art of possibility with AI across key functions, sales and marketing, finance to operations. And I discuss how it can be applied or how it can be a game changer in industries from healthcare to retail to financial services. A bulk of that aspect is in section 3 of my book, and I also discuss the basics of AI tech in the beginning, but more so in the final section, I talk about the maturity models, that how the technology evolves and where the maturity model for a given company is, how you evaluate. And then to your earlier point, Matt, the future of work in an AI enabled world, because it's going to be inevitable. There are only two types of companies in 10 years from now. The other day, Mark Cuban was saying so aptly on CNBC, those who embraced AI and outpacing and outcompeting, and those who are sitting on the sidelines and their lunch is being eaten by the farmer, right? So
Hmm.
those are the companies that will be leveraging, and my book provides the toolkit, the frameworks to be embracing that AI and making sure that their businesses are fully using the power of AI to transform?
Might be a difficult question. I'll ask anyhow. So, if you had to think about the businesses that you've worked with,
Hmm.
just if there were 10 total businesses, I understand there's more than that, but just to keep it a number, how many of those 10 would be well ahead of the curve? If you were to kind of give us an example, 10% of the clients you work with, are they well ahead of the curve in terms of leveraging AI effectively, getting everything in line that's going to be needed not only for now but in the future to capitalize on the benefits that AI brings? Would you say it's a higher number than that? And then, what's the reason mainly? Is there fear of missing out to a degree that drives some businesses? Is it purely they already can see the advantages? Is it some sort of mix? And if so, what is it? I'm just curious, given the work that you've conducted, how many companies really are leading and how many companies are really catching up, I guess, is maybe a better way to ask it.
So the level of engagement, if you will, is quite high. Roughly speaking, companies, when I categorize, they're way up there, meaning they're fully in the AI. They deployed production level AI applications across their company and fully seeing the ROI. Believe it or not, it's very, very small, less than 1%. Less than
Less than
1%.
1%. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the challenge is, it's you need to, as I was alluding to in section two, on the integrating AI, there are lots of challenges from data to security, getting the infrastructure ready, talent. All those things are not simple to do it in 4 months, 5 months. It's not as easy as subscribing to ChatGPT and then writing a little prompt to put a LinkedIn post, right? It's not as simple as that. We're
Sure.
talking about, let's say, if you're a financial services company, know your customer, you want to revamp that whole thing, it takes huge effort connecting the databases, all those. That's why companies who have fully used, fully scaled, it's pretty small. But the interest, the curiosity level is quite high, because whether anyone likes it or not, the OpenAI, the launch of the Chat GPT in 2022, it catapulted AI to everyday conversation, into
Yeah.
every meeting and every earnings call CEOs and CFOs are having. And people are asking, hey, what are you doing about AI? And so the conversations have been happening. So recently, one of my good friends, Ted Shelton, who works in a senior role as a partner, senior partner at Bain, he was telling, when they did the survey, it's 8% of the companies in their survey said it's AI is number one priority for them.
Hmm.
8%, but over 80% of them said it's a top five priority. So you can see, at least a majority of the companies are thinking, and they want to do something. So it's going to take time. The technology is changing so rapidly. I'm in this
Yeah.
in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. I hear so much every day. New things are happening. It is so fast. So
Mm.
people want to understand what is happening, what is possible. It doesn't mean that they're going to overnight scale, invest hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to make it happen. So that's the magnitude in terms of the companies embracing and being at the forefront versus see what is happening and the curiosity. Those are the numbers I'm hearing from various sources.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. That's great context and really puts into perspective. On the one hand, I love the juxtaposition of how new it is and how little percentage of businesses have really fully capitalized on integrating AI in a way that works across their business, yet over 80% are saying it's in their top 5 agenda items, right? So there's a disconnect there. And to me, that speaks to a bevy of opportunity for understanding how to leverage AI and incorporate it in a way that's going to make a difference. People see that it will. It's just probably more about road mapping how within each individual organization.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super interesting. So, as we kind of wind down the conversation here, and on a personal note, I like to end it sometimes. I mean, Reddy, how are you using AI personally in your day to day to help you? Personal. This isn't professional. This is like maybe you're looking to put some travel plans together, or you're looking up a way to cook a new meal. What's some of the personal ways that you're leveraging AI?
Well, we don't need to go even that far. When I started writing this book, right? The one of the things, anyone writing, we have the writer's block. I can tell you that with the Gen AI, the AI, that's gone. That's
Yup.
gone.
I
Well,
love it.
I have ideas, right? Sometimes what you get stuck is like, oh, how do I write this paragraph? How do I write this section? Now, what I can do is I put all my ideas. Hey, this is my brain dump.
Yep.
And then I put it in whatever your favorite tool, ChatGPT or Claude. Probably those are the top two ones that I use, and occasionally Bard after they incorporated Gemini, it has gotten much better. So you put it in there, it gives you something to begin with. So I don't need to wait, okay, I need to take a stroll and in the woods to get my creative
Yup.
juices versus it gives me something based on my rough sketch of ideas, and then I have something to start working on. So instead of waiting for 2 days, oh, okay, I start refining it and writing it in my own style. So a lot of my time is cut. That's why I was able to write my manuscript in 5 months, and then people were amazed. Oh, wow, that was fast. It would have taken much longer just refining it, but it doesn't
Yes.
mean that it eliminates your role. Again, we talked about it. You have to be in the loop. I don't like what comes out, but I change it the way I would like it to be read, right? How it sounds. So that's one. And then emails is another one. It's when I have these emails, drafting it, of course, it comes with cliches no matter how many times I tell the chat GPT or Claude. So I have to edit it, but it's much faster. It's much
Yep.
faster. And then I created my own custom GPT. I have like 10 of them for each of those tasks. So there are productivity gains somewhere between, depending on the task, between 30% to 70% and in between.
I love
Huge,
that.
huge. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I think a lot of us in the professional world are using it in similar ways. It certainly is a jump starter. You become your own editor in chief, so to speak, and the human element is still important, of course. I mean, similar to you, I love taking notes when I meet with folks by typing them, and I type relatively fast, and I'll just type down as much as I can during that conversation. And wow, if I just paste that into ChatGPT and even give it a simple prompt like please summarize my notes concisely, it does a great job. And I've done compare and contrast, and it's a nice way to take away a lot of information and then not have to double back myself to summarize it, but
Right.
rather ask for it to be summarized, and boom, the work is pretty much 95% done. And frankly, taking my own notes from the beginning, I remember what I wrote. It just helps me get it to a more concise place.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. That's a great use case that every one of us can relate to.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Reddy, I really appreciate you coming on today. It's been a super pleasant conversation as well as a very informative one. I thank you for providing us with your perspective on AI and how it's being used. And, I would encourage everyone to go check out Reddy on LinkedIn, get in touch with him too. He obviously has a lot of great knowledge to share. Our listeners, I want to thank them for tuning into Our Best Behavior, brought to you by Behaviorally. Reddy, again, thanks for the time and the insights today. And be sure to our audience to check out other episodes of the Our Best Behavior podcast series, which you can find on our website. And with that, we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.